Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, I want to welcome everyone to this joint webinar with Beauty as a Business and Oozle Media. My name is Stephanie Carter, and I'm both a co founder of Beauty as a Business and the COO of Oozle Media. And today we're going to be talking about what to post on social media right now and how you can use that to your advantage to help prepare your school for when things get back to normal. I mean, clearly, we're living in some crazy times. This virus has caught so many of us off guard, and it just isn't a situation that is built into most marketing plans and strategies. So, first of all, I'm going to start with saying we hope that you've taken care of all the most important things first. You know, yourselves, your families, your students, your staff. We know that people need to come first. And hopefully you didn't get stuck in any crazy Costco lines or toilet paper brawls. And right now, what we know is that most people are craving good information. And whatever your opinion on this may be, many of us are turning to social media to get that information. So, with so many people at home, you know that screen time and social media usage is going to go through the roof. So, be kind to yourself, be kind to your future self, and invest in good social media content and social media ads. This is not a time to hope that 2% of your followers see your posts, which we know, especially for businesses, is a legitimate stat. You may have a few hundred followers, you may have thousands of followers, but if you do not have ad money behind your social content, there's a really good chance that organically it's not reaching a lot of people. And that's really our goal right now, is to engage with people on a platform that they're spending a lot of time on. So this is a time to go out, make yourself relevant, useful, entertaining in a world where a lot of us are stuck at home, and the way that we're killing our boredom is to use our devices. So we want to make sure that you guys are able to pop up in people's social media feeds and give them incentive to click on your ad and become a part of your tribe. It's not that we're trying to get them to enroll or that we're trying to do a hard sell right now. What we're really trying to do is entertain, engage, keep your brand relevant so that, again, when things get back to normal, you guys are top of mind. And this is not an exact match for match situation, but I want to share a story of Black Friday. Um, so I'm the kind of person who likes to plan and prepare for things. So of course, right now is a really hard time for me. I've got a little bit of an A-type personality, but I often research a whole bunch of holiday gifts before Black Friday because I want to be ready on Black Friday to get the best deals. And what I noticed happened is when Black Friday came around and it was time to buy, the people that I ended up buying from were people who had shown me Instagram ads because they reminded me that they had something that I wanted. And the reason why I'm telling this story right now is because I think we are in the phase of a lot of people doing research, again, just wanting to be entertained and engage with brands. And if you start running social ads right now, we had our Google team come into Oozle's offices not too long ago, and they basically said, look, machine learning is awesome, but it only works if you have good data, and the machine needs time to learn. So if you're running ads, what you're doing right now is you're letting your ad account, you're letting your Google account start to learn who's engaging with you, why they're engaging with you. And then when things get back to normal, so to say, and we're ready to tell people, hey, now is the time to enroll. Classes are opening up and we want to get you in, for July, for August. we can hit them with those harder to sell ads and know that we've warmed them up, we've let them do some research, they know us in a way, and they're ready to engage with us. So that brings us to the first thing that you should be posting. Social media is the real-time, easily accessible way to connect with a brand or business. So it makes sense that people would jump on to see how a local restaurant or shop is handling business right now. And we want to be giving people, real-time updates and quick and easy access to information. So I loved this post from Lunatic Fringe Salon. And in this post, first of all, it's very obvious in the image that this is going to be about the outbreak and that they are sharing information about what's going on in the salon right now. And you can't see it. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that my screenshot was in the wrong place, but at the beginning of the caption, they tied their decision to their values as a company. They said something like, hey, at Lunatic Fringe, our values include teamwork, doing the right thing. And so, based on our values as a company, here are the decisions that we are making and why we are doing this. And I just thought that that was awesome because it's a nice way to open a post like this, and then they gave a list of bullet points of all the things they're doing with their staff and salon areas to keep people safe. And this is exactly what someone is looking for who had an appointment booked with them and now is unsure if they should still come or not. So I know a lot of you have talked about, hey, look, my salon area is already closed, my school's already closed. But again, I think that people are looking for information and they want to feel like they understand why you're making the decisions that you're making. And so I think that you should share what you're doing and, also make it obvious which of your social posts are information update posts. Oh, and don't forget to update both your website and Google My Business as well. This includes anything with closures, hour or day changes. Google My Business has an area for posts for frequently asked questions. um, Give people a good way to get in contact with you. That's another big question that everyone wants to know is like, do you want me to, DM you on Instagram if I have a question? Do you want me to call a certain phone number? Do you want me to email a certain person? So make sure that you're giving people a clear area or a clear direction on who they should contact and how they should contact you if they want to get in touch with you. So I wanted to talk about two other brand examples that I really liked that are information posts. Again, I think people are very curious to see how everyone is handling this situation. And this is a post from a very popular jewelry brand. And I think they just really nailed it with this image. I mean, it's eye-catching. It's so relevant to what they do as a company. It's beautiful. The image caught my eye, so I stuck around for the caption. And the thing that, maybe one thing I would change on this post is I felt like their caption was a little messy to read. I wish that they would have bullet pointed things or did some spacing in there so it was easier for me to get through because it's a very long caption. So make sure that you're paying attention to that when you're doing long form posts. But basically, they let their followers know that, again, how they're keeping safe, what they're doing as a company, why they made those decisions. But in their caption, there's this line, and I really love it. It says, but more importantly, we plan to ride this out with you and to be a source of art inspiration. And to do that, they say, we'll be posting meditations, nice or new jewelry that we're coming out with, and doing more behind the scenes videos and posts. And I love that they let their followers know, hey, really our goal right now is to be a source of visual entertainment and inspiration. And that's really powerful when people feel like they're getting bombarded with scary news and depressing facts, from everywhere, really. Um, so let me find another post that I love. Let me switch my slide here. Okay, so this post is from a popular clothing company. And first, I liked that they used their post to put all their information rather than like a huge long caption. It made it a lot easier to read, and it was interesting to me because it actually had it was like a carousel post where you had to swipe through to read the whole message, and that caught my attention and made me want to swipe through and read the whole message. Second, I love their vulnerability in the last part of their message. They say, hey, we're not exactly sure what is appropriate to post right now. What do you want to see? Do you still want to hear about what we're doing? And they just got such a good response from this. I love that they acknowledge that they may not be the most important thing in life right now, but and I mean, that really shows some good emotional intelligence. I also like that they use this as an opportunity to engage with their followers, asking them to comment on what they want to see. And the responses on this post were really good. People were saying like, hey, we appreciated how you addressed this topic. You know what? We want to feel normal. We want you to post more things about what you guys are doing. And I just thought, holy cow, as a business, that is like the best possible outcome this brand could have asked for right now. There are people who were asking questions like, hey, would you consider doing some other things? What's going on with returns? But the vast majority of comments were, you know what? We appreciate you. I want to feel normal right now. Go ahead and keep posting, beautiful things that make me feel normal. So I'm really not sure how this brand could have done anything better. Okay, so another important thing that I think we need to acknowledge is that we all need community right now. Um, here's another idea that involves transparency and engagement. If you have students who are learning from home or staff at home, community becomes more important than ever. It's really easy for us to feel isolated when we're at home. So keep them engaged and make sure that you're posting stories just for them. So for example, you could ask your students and your staff to do things like take a picture of the space at home that they're learning or working from and post it on their Instagram story and tag your school. And then reshare all of those posts on your school's Instagram stories. That way people can have fun going to your account and seeing what everyone else posted. And it's just a way to feel connected and together still. And every day or every few days, you could switch up the theme. Like you could have everyone post a picture of their pets or their favorite houseplants, even. Really, what I think would be interesting is if all of your students and staff who are at home posted on their stories their favorite beauty product or their favorite beauty tool that they have at home and why they love that product and why they love that tool. And again, if you reshare all of that to your school's Instagram account, that's a ton of great content for you guys to have and for people to engage with. Also, we know, we teach this a lot with Beauty as a Business, that when you get your students active on social media and they're tagging your account, the people who follow them are going to go check you out. So if your students and staff are posting stories right now of, what their life at home looks like and they're tagging your school, the people who follow them are going to see that, and then they're going to go to your school's account and go see all the other people and what you guys are doing and how you're making the effort to engage the community. And I think it'll just be really fun and awesome, great content for people to relate to your brand. Just make sure that they tag the school so that you can reshare all of them on your stories. You won't be able to reshare it if they don't tag you. And the funny thing is I actually wrote this webinar over the weekend when things felt like they were really escalating. And this morning, like 15 minutes before we got on the webinar, I actually saw a company that was doing this, Allbirds. So they're a shoe company, and I hurried, and you can see the screenshots I took. I snapped some photos, and they basically said, hey, since our team is working from home, we want to introduce you to all the dogs and cats of Allbirds. And it was this like really cool story just going around where basically people showed the pet and described them and their name. And it was just a really awesome, fun way to engage. And I watched the whole thing. I mean, who doesn't want to see cute pictures of cats and dogs right now? So let's use this time to get to know each other and build our community. This also lets prospective students see a bit of your culture and how you guys navigate challenging times. Um, that will go a long way when they think about touring and enrolling again. Because really your social media should be a peek into what things are normally like in the school. But I think it can also be a strong statement about who you guys are, what your values are, and how you navigate really hard times. And we know that there are two things prospective students care most about on your feed. It's student work. Is it good or is it bad? Because they believe if the student work is good, that equals a good education. And then pictures of life at the school. So your Instagram should be a peek at what life is normally like when the school is full of people who are learning and following their passions. And I was on an admissions consulting call the other day, and that was something that the admissions person said, is she said, I can't bring people in to tour the school. And so what I'm telling them to do is, hey, go look at our Instagram account, because on our account, we have a lot of photos of what life normally looks like in our school, what our students are doing day to day. And I think that's some of the best content that you can have right now. Okay, so another thing that we want to take this time to do is to create the content that you've always wanted. So, again, I've seen a lot of brands doing the information updates, and I think you have to do that first. People care first and foremost about the basic information of what your business is doing right now and why. And I think you should keep updating that information as developments happen. In between, take the time to create the social media content that you've always wanted. And really, whether there was a virus or not, this is the kind of content you should be creating all the time. Working for Oozle as a digital marketing agency for schools, and working with BAB as a social media curriculum for schools, the thing I always hear from schools is, we know we need to pay attention to social media. We just don't have time to make all the content right now that you need for social media. Well, we've got time on our hands now. We've got things that were a bigger priority have been forced to go onto the back burner for us. So let's use this time to create content that we can keep using even when things get back to normal, because this is just the good content that you should always have on your social media anyway. So now would be like a really good time to take blog posts from your websites and turn them into Instagram stories. And the reason why I love this is because we know that not everyone wants to read, a 700-word blog post. But we also know that people are bored right now and they want to be entertained. And so if you have blog posts, think of cool, creative, visual ways to turn them into stories on Instagram or Instagram posts and caption. and bring the blog post to them. Bring the shortened version of the whole blog post to them and say, hey, if you want the full version, go click the link in my bio and read all the good stuff I already have on my website. I think now would be a great time to do a series of posts on Instagram that really talk about, why people love the beauty industry, why you love the beauty industry. Um, some ideas that I heard that I absolutely loved were like, hey, I'm at home, I feel anxious, I feel stressed, but I also have time on my hands. I would love to hear from a beauty expert what kind of self-care routine I could be doing. People love watching makeup tutorials. They love watching hair tutorials. Give me something I can do at home. I follow one beauty influencer, and I think you guys really, you have to start thinking this way of like, you need to establish your authority as an expert in beauty. But she made some really interesting stories that were fun to watch that just talked to me about what are good ingredients to have in facial lotions or serums. What are some easy like ingredients I could find around the house that would have really good things for my skin so I can give myself a little facial and try and relax when I'm feeling so anxious. Again, I think that you could talk to specific audiences. So you could say, hey, for all the people who are really sad that they don't get to go to high school prom anymore, we still want you to have the opportunity to, we still think you should dress up and look beautiful. And, we're going to give a quick tutorial on how to do like a cool eye makeup look with stuff you have lying around the house. Or, here's an updo that you could try at home. And again, what you're doing is you're empathizing with the current situation that all of us are in, but you're creating content that is relevant to who you are and what you do. And it's basically, hey, here's how I can contribute to making things feel a little better in the world right now. Let me see what else I have here in my notes. Yeah, so I want you to think about what are your most visited blog posts? Can you turn them into stories? Um, I think too, the other thing that we want to do here is get on camera on those stories and, let people see and connect with a human face at the school. Again, in times where we may feel isolated at home, this is really important. Take people around the school and talk about what you're truly feeling right now. Say things like, it's really hard for me to see the school so empty right now, but, I'm going to take you around the school and I'm going to tell you about really awesome, the stations we have set up, why we use certain products that we use, why we partner with certain people that we partner. Almost treat it as if they are going on an admissions tour without necessarily knowing they opted to go into an admissions tour. But have those conversations and get on camera and think about that with folks. And, I just want to caveat here, we're spitballing ideas. I know that there are going to be some things that maybe you feel like aren't compliant for you to share. I've heard in the past from beauty schools like, hey, there's a reason why we don't do tutorials. There's a reason why we don't do some of these things. I think right now you got to do what you feel is right. But I'm telling you, people are looking for things that help them feel entertained and not bored. So what are the things that you can do that feel like they stay within the bounds that you need to respect, but also meet that need of giving people content to watch and engage with? You could do something like, think about focusing on a program each week. Get people excited to follow along and see what's coming up next. So like, let's say that you do a week all about barbering, and you start out and you go through like tools that people use, fun facts about barbering, talking about maybe get in touch with some alumni via social media who went into the barbering field and see if they'd be willing to get, engage with you, share an Instagram story with you that you can post with them talking about their experience in the barbering field. Again, this is all content that you should be creating normally anyway, but a lot of people just don't feel like they have the time to do it. And we know that this is going to be a time of reflection for a lot of people. Are they doing what they want to do with their lives? Are they trapped in a dead end job? They may vow that when life gets back to normal, they're going to stop wasting their time and they're going to follow their passion. So I think you should still feed that idea of like, what is awesome about the beauty industry? What is awesome about school? And just think of ways to do it that's entertaining, transparent, feels a little bit like reality TV, because there are people who want to be engaged with right now. Don't forget to use the interactive features on stories where you have sliders, you have stickers, you have polls. You could put together little quizzes that people can take, really anything just to engage and entertain. And with that being said, I think another important thing that you should post, be careful, be emotionally intelligent about it. But humor is a powerful thing, especially when we're all just feeling that weight of what's happening in the world. So, I think you should still be posting memes and inspirational and positive things. We have a lot of these up at our Instagram account at Beauty as a Biz. And you can go through and see, past memes that we've made. Feel free to steal them from our account and reshare them, the things that feel like they reflect your school, kind of your vibe, your attitude as a school, because I think that humor goes a long way in times that feel dark. And really it's important for me that, you know, if you need content, if you need some distance learning, anything around social media that you think your students would be interested in learning, BAB has an Instagram stories course. We have a course on best practices for Instagram, and that involves, that's content we made for students, but your staff and you guys may want to watch that to get some ideas of what you could be posting right now and best practices that you should be using. This is our lesson on how to take great videos and photos from your phone. So if you're interested in any of that content, go to beautyasabusiness.com and fill out the demo. We'll get in touch with you. And really what we want to know right now is just what would be most helpful to you. Because we want to make sure that, if we can help you fill hours with distance learning, we want to be helpful there. If you just want to watch something to learn for yourself so that you can keep your social media going as a school during this time, whatever we can do to help, go fill out that demo. We'll get in touch. Let's start talking. I think in this time, everyone is just taking the attitude of, how can we get through this? How can we help each other? And, we want to hear from you what would be most helpful to you. And then my biggest thing is, if you are going to make this cool content and you now have the time to make this cool content, you really need to make sure that you're amplifying your message. You got to reach people outside of just the people who follow you, because again, the truth is you probably don't have enough followers where organically you're reaching the right people. And Facebook can do so many cool things where, for example, with Oozle Media's social package, you send us all the names and email addresses of past enrollments, and we give that information to Facebook and we say, hey, go find us people who look like these people, because they're the ones who are most likely to be interested in this content. And again, I always think this is content you should be making whether there's a virus or not, but I do think people underestimate, the power of amplifying that and going on and knocking on people's doors is what I call it, when you show up in someone's feed rather than expecting them to just find you or come to you. And so for Oozle, our social ads packages start at $850 a month. That's budget to set up your ads in the back end of Facebook, and then budget that you need to give to Facebook to amplify it. But I just really feel strongly that if you're going to make this content, you need it to reach people. And especially there's a lot of opportunity right now with so many people spending way more time on their phones and looking to social media to be entertained. This is another cool resource that we can send out to you guys. So if you go to Oozle and fill out our contact form, if you go to Bab and fill out our demo form, one of the things that we're going to get up on our site or that we can email out is Facebook is offering small business grants. There's not a ton of information up yet, but basically Facebook is saying, hey, we know that a little financial support can go a long way. So they're offering 100 million in cash grants and ad credits to help small businesses during this time. And we want to make sure that you guys get this link so that you can apply for it and you can take advantage of that if you want. So again, if you go to Oozle Media's website, go to the contact us button and put in your information, and in the box that says, how can we help, tell us what you feel like you might need some help with. And we really just want to be as helpful as we can right now. I do think we all feel like we're in it together and that we're trying to, be kind to each other. And yes, I think all of us are worried about, what does this mean for our business? What does this mean for our people? And really, right now, we just feel like, nobody built this into their marketing plans. Nobody had a contingency plan for their school getting shut down for who knows how long. And so, as marketing experts, as social media experts, we know that those are tools that are designed to be flexible, nimble, and powerful if they're used correctly. And we are willing to share that information and have those conversations. So please get the conversation started with us. Tell us what we can do to help, and we'll answer back to the best of our ability, like, hey, here's what we have available. Fill out that form and ask us for this link to the Facebook business grants. We'll try and get some emails out as well. And then I think I'm going to try and I wanted to see if there were any questions that came up while we were talking. So I'm going to jump into the chat right now, and I'm going to look in the Q&A. So if you have questions, please send them into me, and I'm going to take a few minutes before we wrap up the webinar to do some personal consulting, I guess. Okay, so I have a question here that says, would you recommend acknowledging the situation like Reformation has? I personally am having a hard time posting in times like these. Yes, I think that you really have to address the elephant in the room, or it's going to feel like you are trying to ignore something that is just way too big to ignore. And this is where I think that, we have to talk about how all of us are feeling right now. And I do think it's smart to get a little vulnerable and say, hey, as a small business owner, as a school owner, I want to tell you about the way I've been feeling, some sleepless nights that I've had, some hard decisions that I've had to make, but here's where I'm at. We're doing the best that we can. We care about our people. We care about our students. Here's what we're doing to show that we care about them. And again, I think you have to be transparent. You have to be real right now, because that's what people want to feel right now. We want to feel like people are connecting, that they're being open with us. And, we want to support them. I cannot tell you how many local restaurants I follow on my Instagram. And when all of them posted that they were closing and that they were going to offer curbside pickup, you know, they talked about, hey, we're doing this because yes, it's coming at a cost to our business. It's a really hard decision we had to make, but we want to keep everyone safe. And they were flooded with comments of people saying, thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking this hit for our community. How can we support you? And they were able to start putting up posts about like, hey, it would mean a lot to us if you guys would buy gift cards and, you know, come back and use them when our restaurant can be open again. It would mean a lot to us if you did a DoorDash and got some food from us. You know, Grubhub is suspending fees that we pay, so we get 100% of the proceeds. I mean, by being transparent, by asking for the support, by just letting people know what they were doing, people came out and said, hey, we're going to fight for you. We're going to show that we support you. So I think that that's a good step to take. Okay, so I have another question here. Will we be able to get a recording of the webinar? Yes, I see the record button blinking, so this better be recording. And I promise you, if it's not recording, I will do another live webinar, the exact same one next week if I have to, and I will record that one. But we are gonna work to get this up on Oozle Media's blog and probably on the Beauty as a Business blog as well. And then again, you know, email us, fill out the form, let us know that you want a recording, and we'll try and get these out person by person or let you know where you can find it. There's another question about our admissions webinar tomorrow. Totally fine. This is a great question. So again, right now, we are partnering with our friends in the community. And yes, we are doing a webinar tomorrow afternoon. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern with Rob from SalesCom. He's an admissions consultant. And I was on a call with him earlier this week where we talked to 26 schools about what admissions folks should be doing right now specifically and how they can be engaging with leads. So we're going to have that conversation again tomorrow with Rob, and that's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I think we're going to have to open up more seats. I apologize that some people weren't able to get in today, but we are going to try and get this information out to everyone. I see another question. When is this nightmare going to end? I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't answer that question, but I feel ya. And will beauty schools move to online permanently for theory? It's an interesting question. You know, I think the industry is doing a lot of thought about what makes sense with online learning and, you know, what this situation has kind of forced us to reckon with. But I have faith that we're going to figure out what's right for students and what's best for schools, and then we will go from there. Oh, sorry. Okay, so my microphone cut out during the admissions part. Tomorrow, we are doing an admissions webinar. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern. There was an email that went out with the link. And again, if for some reason you didn't get that email and you need the link, please go to the contact us form on Oozle, and in this little box that says, how can we help? Put in that you need info about the admissions webinar tomorrow and we'll get it to you. But there's a link. It's going to be exactly like what happened today. You just click on the link and we're going to be there with Rob from SalesCom. So we sent the link out via an email. Again, if you didn't get that email or you can't find that email for some reason, just go to the contact us form on Oozle and write the question in there asking for the admissions link and we'll get that to you. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you all get back to your day. I hope that this information has been helpful to you. We're gonna work to get it up on our blogs as quickly as possible. Just know that social media is a powerful tool for your school to be using right now. If you're gonna turn off other channels of marketing, I would suggest that you seriously consider keeping a portion for social ads to reach all the people who are going to be on social media. But again, if you have specific questions, stick them in our contact form. We're going to get back to you. We just want to be helpful right now. So thank you all for attending. We appreciate you. We're in this together, and we'll be with you again tomorrow on our admissions call. So thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.